Hi, and welcome to another video of the Targeted Individual Program, Targeted Individual Experience. This is, an ongoing continuation, 24/7, 365 days a year, harassment, torture type psychological program. And that program is called a Coercive Persuasion Program. And there are certain psychological tactics process that they do to victims of this program. One being a directed energy weapon for the use of mind control, as well as to cause physical and psychological damage to the victims. Another one is the legal microchipping for the study and application of what is called remote neural monitoring. Okay, and these videos I try to explain and show the harassment, but also the psychological tactics and the psychological conditioning, such as being conditioned with what is called dark NLP, all right, a neuro-linguistic programming, but is being used, and I'm being conditioned, and we as TIs are being conditioned negatively. And so when that negative condition has occurred, or they have decided to use this sort of negative conditioning using neuro-linguistic programming, it is then called dark NLP. Basically, they condition you, you're not aware of it, negatively, so you behave negatively, you think negatively, you get very defensive, you may even get hostile and violent, and you have no idea that you have been conditioned by this process. Okay? And that is being used to discredit, to give you to label you with a mental illness, and to give you what I call an external mental illness, because it occurs on the outside. It's not something that has naturally happened to you because of let's say you were born with some sort of mental problem, a mental issue. This is orchestrated on you by causing trauma in your life, by doing things to manipulate your mind, to make you have self-doubt, to drive you to the point of suicidal, to make you have suicidal thoughts and drive you to the point of suicide. Okay, that is, what they're doing, and that's just part of it. Okay, because there's also the technological part, which is the directed energy weapons and the illegal microchipping being used on you, and the Coercive Persuasion Program is used to discredit, to silence you, by setting you up or trying to set you up and manipulating those around you, friends, family, co-workers, those in your community, those outside your community, by giving them a cause, by making you the villain or the bad guy. Okay? All in hopes that you will remain silent about the non-consensual human experimentation that they are doing on you. So let's start off with this video, and I'm not going to say anything because in the video I'm talking, so I'll just let the video play. Alright, so you guys think, like I said, that what I go through, it's when you look at these videos, you can't say it's coincidence, right? So yesterday, okay, alright, so you guys I know I said I'm going to let this video play another talk, but watch the woman here in the trench coat as she touches her nose as she approaches as she walks towards me.
I said that what I go through, it's when you look at these videos, you can't say it's a coincidence, right? So yesterday, I did a video, and you saw there was a car that was parked in front of me, in the parking space in front of me, with Texas temporary plates with 32 in it. So as I got back on the block last night.
Also, the gentleman behind her, now be aware that it's 48 degrees, it's very windy because it's raining, and you know, it's cold, so you know, you think you would have your jacket closed, right? But this guy has his jacket open and he's looking up at the sky.
So yesterday I did a video, and you saw,
and again, let me just pause it here. Again, it's, as you know, they do that a lot. They'll open their jacket, and I do it back to them too. Again, it's the shape of a V, right? So I talked about that in my other videos.
The car that was parked in front of me, in the parking space in front of me, with Texas temporary plates with 32 in it. So as I got back on the block last night, parked, and this wasn't the car that was parked in front of me when I parked last night. Woke up this morning, came downstairs and taking the kids to school, and the car that's parked in front of me, and look at that number on the license plate that I constantly talk about, right? So if you think this is coincidence, I think not.
And that's the number 32.
That's that number.
So it'll appear
now
sometimes in the beginning, sometimes in the last two numbers in the end, or the first two numbers in the beginning,
there,
or
also
the two numbers in the middle of the license plate. Or, you know, let's say the license plate has multiple numbers in it, they'll have the number 32 right in there.
I've seen it before. I don't recognize the plate, so we just
yeah, this is a new vehicle that started parking on this block. I have never seen this video parking on this block before.
You could have pulled up.
Oh, hold up. Look, you messed up my thing.
Now, the SUV on the right side, okay? Now that SUV has recently started parking on this block for about, I would say about 2-3 months now, right? And there have been other numerous vehicles parked on the block with that number in it. And again, it's a trigger. I've been conditioned to it, and the frequency of which I see that number, it's not coincidence. It's not coincidental at all. This is orchestrated. There you go. Okay, so that's the same number. Okay, that's 2. Oh, great. Let me go back here, because actually I'm looking at the picture because the car's parked up. But there was another car, burgundy Optima, I believe, that also has that number in the beginning of the license plate. Okay, and there's also a van, right? And then there's another SUV, Jeep Cherokee. They all parked up on the block, have that number in it. Okay, now look what happens here, and I've talked about this. Whereas I'm turning a corner, and the first car that I approach or come behind, you'll see. look at that Mercedes-Benz trying to cut in front of me because they want to hide or mask what it is that they're doing. But I wasn't going to let him do that. Okay? So I just pushed up closer to that SUV. I think that's a Nissan Rogue. Because the fact is that had the Mercedes-Benz go in front of that car, I would still see the license plate, okay, as I was making the turn. So, here I go. And what is the number at the end? 32. Okay? Now, you think this is coincidence? This is not coincidence. Okay? When you look at, the psychological operations, psyops, we're talking about the control of a person's time, the control of the person's environment, or the people in the person's environment. And this is all orchestrated. Now, as I turn here, this van, okay, have the number 32 in the license plate. I don't know if you'll be able to see it in this video, but let me see if I make it bigger. Okay, well, it didn't show it, but excuse me. That van had the number 32 in the license plate. Let me go back. Let me make sure it's still. Okay, you can't see it in the camera. But yeah, that van has the number 32 in the license plate. Okay. Let's go to the next video. So, my daughter has been dropped off to school, and I'm driving to take my son to his school. Now, there was another car that was parked over here that had the license plate with the number 32 in it. And then this white car. Okay, so what they'll do is that they'll also do this strategically, like placing vehicles with the license plate at the corner. So being that I have to make the right down here, they're going to place this vehicle right here with the number 32 in the license plate so I can see. Let's go back, and I'm gonna do a full screen. I'm not sure if it's gonna show on the video because I won't be able to see it, but hopefully it will. If not, you can do full screen when you play back this video, so you can see.
Huh?
Well, I couldn't make it out, so on the video, but it did have the number 32 in the license plate. And at this point, you guys know that I'm not making this up.
It's such an out of the way place to have a restaurant. It's just a catering office.
Now, this is my son's school, PS6. And this vehicle right here, okay, is parked there for a purpose again. Because number 32 is in the license plate. And you will see that I'm going to drive over to this side after stopping here to let my son out. Because I want you guys to see it.
She's retired. She's retired. She's like, I can't afford that. I've been battling to fight and try and get her some assistance with her medications. Come
All right, Ethan.
Look at this woman. Again, play that here. Then she covers her. She does this. Alright? Let's go back again. Tuck her here. Puts her this jacket over, or her hair over her nose. Couldn't really tell. Let's see. But let me zoom in. It may not show. Okay, so she puts her jacket over her nose. You guys can do full screen and you can see what it is I'm talking about.
So there's a blue Honda Accord on the other side of the street. I want to reverse back because I want to pull up behind it.
Right.
So you guys can see that I'm not playing when I tell you that this is what they
32.
do. So again,
right, like I said, it'll be in the middle. It'll be the first two letters.
What does that number say on the license?
I mean, the first two letters, the first two number in the license plate
I'm not
where
kidding
the number places
when I say these
are
things.
at the end.
This is
And like I said, it's a license plate that have more than 4 numbers. That number 32 will be in there
they
somewhere.
will position vehicles.
Trying to
at least once
want to skip forward certain parts of the video because
Friday
I want to make this video short.
Saturday to Sunday.
But I'm going to post the high-res full definition video.
Okay.
And there are a few videos I have to post, but I got to watch them again to make sure that I don't have the radio playing in the car because they might flag the video. And as I made the turn here, there was another car coming in the opposite direction. It had the number 32 in there. It's very hard to see, and even though I'm pausing it, can't really see it. So let me go back. I'm not going to pause it because let's go back again. Because I'm just using the Windows Media Player, so every time I pause the video, there's like a dark radiation that comes up, so I'm just going to let it play, and you can pause it on YouTube. Just use full screen to see.
No. and I think she has. She needs you to be when you get your little break from school. We need to hire you. But she does have. She has been an LPN for 10 years, so she does have that on her side. I'm just hoping she'll find a job. I'm just so, like, she's like, y'all won't see me when we went out to dinner last Wednesday. She's like, y'all won't see me. And the man's like, yo, we're not looking for you. You know, when you get your little break from school and you can hang out for a quick bit, we'll make it happen. But don't, or help us, or do for us as a couple. Per se, but for like period. What was the example of the back on the roof for the most part, and that's hubris on the parent district for her kids because they loved their house. The house they were in, they sold it. The only motivating factor was the fact that Taylor was going to high school, and the high school the kids were zoned for wasn't the best school, and she was thinking about her future and her long-term thing. Like long term, like, I have 3 girls that got to go through high school. I need my kids to be in a better high school area. So she had a time frame set, and she started looking years on out because Taylor's only still in junior high school, but she's been planning this since Taylor was like in 4th or 5th grade. She's been looking so that when she could find the right thing, it could go.
Right. Now this street sweeper, in the license plate, has a number 32. Now, I'm not sure if the camera's going to pick it up, but I could clearly see it.
Smoothly, and it still didn't go smoothly. She told us some more in detail about all this. Her husband got laid off. Just as they moved to that big house, her husband got laid off. He's still working. His company, he has an end date. Like how I had that happen in the financial district when you're getting laid off, not because they're firing, but just they can't afford you. They give you an end date so that you can get your life together and figure out when you're, like maybe line up the next job so that we can get in water.
The reason why humans are dumb is because it's.
And she said that just as they moved in that big house, her husband got laid off. He's still working. His company, he has an end date. Like how I had that happen in the financial district when you're getting laid off, not because they're firing, but just they can't afford you. They give you an end date so that you can get your life together and figure out when you're, like maybe line up the next job and what have you. And she's like, this really is scary to me because, I do, I have a good job, but I can't be the sole supporter of this house. She's like, I can't be the only financial person. Like, I need Joe's salary. And then they had all these vacations planned and stuff like that. So her, with all her planning and preparation, things did not go smoothly. And she said that that was a big life lesson. Even if you plan.
Now, if you're a TI and you're watching this video, I am wearing a bright color shirt. Okay, it is not meant to target you in any way. It is meant to target my perps. Okay, because they will be looking at my video, and it's the color that they use to target me, along with the brand. All right, of the name of the company that produced the shirt. And so when I wear these colors, it is not to target you as a TI, but it's to target my perpetrators.
Stuff is just going to happen. So you have to be prepared. That's what everyone needs to understand. You have to be prepared. I feel like most humans live by the seat of the freaking pants. Not enough money in the bank, not enough resources available. Like, remember Sandy, I spent that weekend getting water. I made sure the car had gas. We did all those things and we were fine. Remember, we had gas and everybody else is long lines for gas, no gas. You have to plan.
But again,
that's people being stupid.
That's not people being stupid.
That's stupid.
That's people being trained a certain way, growing up. They're not taught certain things.
People are
so it's not so.
Humans are dumb, and people unfortunately are.
The reason why humans are dumb is because it's not a coincidence. Okay, it's not a coincidence.
But it's not a coincidence.
It's not a coincidence. It's something that is orchestrated and planned. By the elites. That's what I keep people that, and they do it through, not funding proper education and stuff like that.
Okay.
So it's not just that people are dumb. People are dumb is correct, but people are conditioned and trained.
Okay.
Now look at these two vans run the red light. This van have the number 32 in it. Let me see if I can go back and because
not funding proper education.
Excuse me. They're trying desperately to get in front of me, right? And so this is what I talk about because, I have positioned myself to where I guess it throws off the synchronization. So in order for them to get in front of me, to again adjust because I deviated, and so the synchronization is off. Because what would normally happen is I would turn this corner and I will pull up directly behind that van. But because I got into the lane before the van, they're going to run the red light.
It's not just that people are dumb. People are dumb is correct, but people are conditioned and trained.
So you see, this van came out of the right lane. This is the turning lane, right? And again, it has the number 32 in it, in the license plate. If I zoom in, I can't really see too well.
Okay, but the
people.
Well, they did what they had to do. The ish.
You can't really see it on the video, but the number is there.
You know what? It's true. So I always say this whenever you bring this argument up. It's true. You can stay in your own bubble, just like you ever read The Cave by is it Socrates or Plato? It's in the whole.
I'm not too keen on these. Again,
the Greek philosopher.
Yeah, exactly. When I read,
it's a perfect.
Read stuff on. And not to say that I don't read Greek
no, but this is saying I have
heard of it, but
okay. But this is the story of the cave. When you live in your cave, you think that's the only world you know. You don't understand there's a huge scope of world out there besides your cave. There's another philosophy about African.
But listen,
let me finish.
Listen,
let me just get
listen.
The point is. Most people don't step outside from white people.
Why is that? Why is that? It's basically because of economic reasons. It's not because they don't want to. It's because of economic reasons.
Gotcha, but the thing is, you say, I guess, you know what?
It is
I always grew up middle class. I've always been middle class.
Because you live in your bubble. That's your problem.
But I don't live in my bubble.
Yes, you do live in your bubble.
Can I finish?
You think you don't, but you live in your bubble.
Nigel, my bubble, as you said, grew up middle class. Most people own their houses, and my grandmother owned her house, my mother owned, which gives us more.
But that has nothing to do with
let me finish.
What we're talking about.
It does.
How does it?
Let me finish. When you grew up in a certain thing, like
again, see, it's the prep mentality, right? When you feel or think you are better than other people because you think you live such a privileged life, and which she hasn't, but the fact that she thinks that because she grew up middle class, then that makes her more important or better than those who haven't. Perps. Okay, so as a TI, they will put you in a relationship with a handler, okay, or somebody who has the type of personality and mentality that they can recruit. Excuse me, that they can recruit into participate in this program. Okay,
especially black people, right? When black people,
again, we talk about black people, we talk about a very small percentage. Okay,
you keep saying that.
It's the truth. It's a very small. You know what? Go look it up. Get the statistics.
No, when she's talking about black people, she was trying to say that because she grew up around people who, some of them, own their own house. And that's just a small percentage of people that she grew up around. You're talking about maybe 5 or 6 people, right? And she's based in that and trying to say, well, the majority of black people, all own their own homes, they're middle class. It's totally devoid of the reality of the situation that black people are in America, whereas the majority of black people are working class and poor. A very small percentage, and I mean a very, very small percentage are middle class, and an even tinier percentage are wealthy and well-to-do. Okay, and the people who are the very tiny percentage of the people who are wealthy and well-to-do are athletes. Okay.
At the
I don't care about the statistics.
Well, you have to care about the statistics because yes, you do, because you can't make a general statement like that without knowing the statistics. Without knowing the truth, because truth is relevant.
But the truth is not in my world.
Opinion is okay. The truth is not in your
relevant in my world.
Okay, all right.
Okay, see, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. The truth is not relevant in her world. And when you talk about living in a bubble, and that's these people out there, you know, parading around outside, participating in this psychological torture, psychological harassment program, because the truth is not relevant to them. Is whatever they want, however they want it. You know, if they're given the opportunity to believe that they have power over people or power over someone, they will grasp it and take it, even if it means, you know, the destruction of a person's life, their livelihood, the relationships, their mental state, their physical state and physical being. They will gladly participate because, again, the truth is not relevant in their world or in their bubble.
There you go. Like I said, you live in your bubble where the truth is not relevant in your world. You just said it.
Yes, because I'm trying to make a point that you never let me finish.
That's not how you make it.
Can I finish? The reason, the point is, when we all live in our own bubbles. We all live in our own scope. Can you finish? Okay, yes, we said that. You said it now 5 times, and see what I'm saying? You do that as block.
And that's my defense mechanism kicking in, because the reason why I do that and I repeat things, okay, is because I want to see if this is microwave, you know, them taking control of her mind to say certain things, or this is truly how she feels. So when I say it repeatedly and she keeps repeating the same thing, then to me that's how she really feels. Okay, if they had hacked into her mind and, you know, make her say something like that, she would repeat it, you know, multiple times.
Okay, let me finish my thought with a clear mind. I grew up in my bubble, right? This person goes up in their bubble. This person goes up in their bubble. I can't, until you start interacting with people in their own bubbles and understand their personalities and their traits, you only think your world exists. I know that other worlds exist, but I also, because of my bubble, I can understand, especially being a black person who grew up middle class, I can look at black people of poorer classes and stuff like that, and I see their blockage, and I see what is keeping.
Okay, again, so because she grew up middle class, she can look at people who are poor or working class and see their blockage, right? Therefore, putting the fault on those people, not on the structural racist institution that we live under, that created laws and created situations to keep the majority of black people, you know, economically deprived, poor, a lot of us destitute, and the working class blacks, okay, they can't save any money because they have to pay rent. Rent is high. They have to buy food. If they have kids, they got to clothe their kids, take care of their kids. So they're living paycheck to paycheck. Now, do you think that's coincidence? It's designed like that. Okay, those in power want to create this level of a caste system. Okay, it's not like the caste system in India, but it is a caste system right here in the United States. And she failed to grasp that because, again, when you have that me, selfish, singular mentality, which we've all been conditioned to have, it's difficult to look at a person, someone who is not as fortunate as you, and said it's their fault. Okay, this is the conditioning and brainwashing that they do to black people who have, reached that middle class status, or who are wealthy, like athletes, who won't do jack shit for the community that they come from, and not all of them, but the majority of them. And so that's the mentality that they create amongst our own people.
No, you don't see. No, you don't see their blockage. What you see is that you think that you know them because of their mindset, but you remember that mindset is created by the condition in which they are in.
Okay. But the thing is, how do you get them out that condition? That's the thing. You can't focus on why. You have to focus on how.
You have to do it. We have to do it, and it's through education. It's through electing officials that's going to do right by them.
This country's.
And again, like I said, through education. And what is happening now to the educational system? It's getting worse. It's getting worse because you have these religious fanatics in government and controlling the board, the educational department, and they're taking science away from the classroom and teaching their religious BS. So people are going to get even more dumber because of that, and that's a fact, Jack.
Not set up to do right on a large
scale.
There you go. That's what.
Then there you go.
You just blocked everybody.
All right, we'll talk about this later.
No, but you just blocked everybody.
We'll just talk about this later. You want to get out? Or
yeah,
not?
I do. But I need to get the bags out of the car.
Okay,
you just blocked everybody.
They can wait a little bit.
And we always have these heated conversations, and I sometimes I got to shake my head and be like, wow, wow. But she's the mother of my.
Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. The truth is not relevant in her world. That's what I got to deal with. Okay, so people again, with their particularly religious people, which she's a Christian, whereas they don't like the truth. They've been believing in a lie for so long that the truth becomes irrelevant to them. And so you heard it from her own mouth, and there's millions of people who have that same mentality, whereas the truth doesn't matter to them, right? The truth does not matter to them. The truth is not relevant. It's kind of like Donald Trump supporters, even though she hates Donald Trump, but the Donald Trump supporters, the truth about this man is not relevant to them. Okay, cognitive dissonance. Okay, so what she failed to understand, and again, as with a lot of people, is that they have that mentality where they can see the truth. They refuse to see the truth, and if you put the truth in front of them, they'll close their eyes because they don't want to see it. They don't want to deal with it. So they're living in this world in their mind, in their head, that they've been conditioned to live in. It's like kind of like Neo in the Matrix, right? I mean, that's what is going on here.
Okay.
All right.
So let me just. There you go. So pull up behind this vehicle, and again the number 32.
The van, the one that says
the van,
on it, the license plate 32106.
Let me zoom in, see if it'll show. 32106 BB.
BB.
Okay? It's not coincidence. This is not coincidence. This is not, if you're a religious TI and you're watching this is not no spiritual warfare or this type of thing. This is orchestrated. This is psyops, psychological operations, psychological warfare. Okay? You need to understand what that is and how it applies to your target in order for you to survive it, in order for you to know what's being done, in order for you to avoid a lot of the traps that they will set for you. Because if you don't know it and you have no clue, you will fall into those traps. And a lot of us have. I sure have in the past. But, you know, I educated myself. You know, and thank goodness for those TIs that put their story out there, who wrote blogs about what was happening. Excuse me. Again, coughing is something that they use to target people with, so I'm not trying to target you. My throat is dry, and I'm coughing. I don't want to get up to go get water and come back, so, you know, I try not to cough too much, okay? So I apologize. So as I was saying, yeah, so, you know, you have to educate yourself. And like I said, thank goodness for those TIs out there who put the information out there. Mark Rich, this website, psychologicalharassment.com, that explains what it is that they're doing and the tactics that they're using and how they're using it. I'm on my way back, and I'm just want to skip certain parts of this video because I want to get to a certain point where they'll use the fire truck. So the fire truck will be parked up, you know, lights flashing, no emergency. Okay, again, you put them on all my path. You know, again, that's, you know, if you look at my earliest videos when I started recording what was happening to me, you'll see there's a lot of videos of fire trucks, and that's because everywhere I went, you know, they will use fire trucks with the heavy noise campaign. Now, the noise campaign with the fire trucks not so much, but their presence, like I said, their lights would be flashing, but they wouldn't have their sirens on. You know, as they drive by, or they'll be parking, and that's the majority of the time. The few times they will have their sirens on, whereas before, the majority of the time they would have their sirens on. There they go. The fire trucks are there. We're going to cover these two police vehicles. Now, look at how this car is parked, this police vehicle. Now, there's no reason for this. Again, they're not responding to a crime or anything like this. Again, because they always want to show their presence when I'm being heavily targeted. And they'll do stuff like this because it gets your attention, right? Obviously, this police car is turned on the opposite direction of traffic on the lane that the traffic is going towards where I'm headed. So they're parked, like they should be on the other side, right, facing that way. But again, that's how they get my attention, and it's done on purpose.
Volkswagen. And
Okay, yeah. So I was parked here, but then I was like, you know what? Let me move up, get parked closer to the apartment building. And there was a woman standing in front of this Volkswagen here. Okay, there she comes. So she just came out there because I pulled into this parking space. So she comes with her phone out in her hand. And I'm thinking that she's waiting for somebody. There she's right there. And she sees me reversing, parking out. She's going to walk back that way to walk around this van right here and go back in this direction. Again, they do this because they want to get your attention.
so that lady that just you just saw there, she's a perp. Basically standing there waiting for me to come on the block, and then she walks behind the Volkswagen here, this blue Volkswagen, and she walks off. She was in front of it, and she walks towards the back of the Volkswagen, and then she leaves. So that's the kind of stuff that they do. That's the kind. They do stuff like that because they know that it will get your attention. And so that's one of the things, one of the ways that they, the method that they use, that they do to get your attention, because they wanted to have some sort of, whatever subliminal they're trying to send you. And, but again, what I should have done, I should have turned the phone towards her to put her on video. But
yeah. And the next time I will surely do that. Okay? So, I hope I was able to explain in a clear, concise way how they target me. And, if you're a TI and you're experiencing the same thing, you're not alone. Okay? This is orchestrated on you, again, to silence you, to discredit you by, if you go to someone to talk to about what's being done to you, they will label you with a mental illness. And the person that's labeling you, they know that you're coming. Okay, they know that you're coming, and they go to that person and they will give you a diagnosis of having a mental illness, whether it be paranoid schizophrenia or schizophrenic, or paranoid. They will give you that label, okay? Because they've been told to give you that label. It's a way to discredit you, all right? It's a way to take away, your ability to function, because once they label you that that doctor could now have the right to institutionalize you, to say, you're a danger to society, even though you're not, because they are a part of it. Okay, so that is what they'll do, to try to shut you up, or to even subject you to more psychological torture and experiment.